to the Tarot Cottage. My name is Amy. I'm back with a pick a card reading for you. Welcome to my beautiful returning subscribers. Do not forget to drop your comments below any of my readings this month for your chance to win a free reading with me. So if you have just found yourself new to the channel or you are a new subscriber, we welcome you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your presence here. Be sure to drop your comment below any of my readings this month for your chance to win a free reading. Just hit your notification bell and your like button so that I can notify you if you're chosen the winner. But for today's pick a card topic, we're looking at a person on your mind and how do they think that you feel about them? So you have every idea about how you're feeling about them, and we're going to see if they're right about this. So we have 3 piles to choose from today. Pile number 1 with the purple flower and the Empress. Pile number 2 with the pink flower and the King of Wands. And pile number 3 with the red rose and the 3 of Cups. So whichever pile or piles are calling out to you, there may be messages waiting, and I'm going to jump into pile number 1. My timestamps are listed below. Again, today's topic is all about how does the person on your mind right now think you feel about them? Pile 1. Hello, pile 1. You were drawn to the little purple flower or to the Empress, and this is your reading. How does the person on your mind think that you feel about them? This Empress is giving so many abundant vibes. She is just somebody who deserves every good thing. So there's something about being adored or being just viewed as something really abundant, really gorgeous. It's like you demand a lot of attention, or they give you a lot of their attention. And so there's a feeling about that, about you maybe being this force where you just demand a lot of their attention, or they can't help but give their attention to you in some way. So let's take a look here at how do they think that you feel about them. There's also this passive approach that the Empress sort of takes because she doesn't have to work hard to be the Empress. And so they may feel like you think that you don't really have to do a lot in order to get their attention, or that you are maintaining a very passive approach, but that you know what you're doing, so to speak. It's like you know that you are attracting them. I even just heard the term pillow princess, so please take that as it resonates. But how do they think you feel about them? We have the Judgment. Eight of Swords. I just heard something about loving the chase with this jackrabbit. We have the Ten of Cups. How do they think you feel about them? We have the Devil. And I just heard greatest of all time. Page of Swords. Oh, there's this message about somebody being the chaser versus the somebody who's being chased. And so there's this feeling about you not being the chaser, that you like to be chased, and that underneath it all, that there's something very beautiful and abundant about you, but there's something about the way you carry yourself that gives this person the impression that you might be a little bit insecure underneath it all. We have the Five of Swords and we have the King of Swords. And there's almost this feeling of like it's the divine masculine's job to be the aggressor here, or to be the person who is the chaser, or be very forthcoming when it comes to you and when it comes to like the expectation of who does what in this relationship or in this attraction or connection. You have the Fool. And that the truth is there's lots of attraction here on your end. They think that there's lots of attraction on your end, but that you're afraid to say something. Or again, that there's this message of like, it's not my job to be the one to say something here. But that it all sort of trickles down to this fear associated with taking action on your end. And I feel like for someone watching, you guys are spending a lot of time together, or you're spending a lot of time talking together, because I just heard constant companion. They do think that you're thinking, oops, I just threw the card across the room. They do think that you're thinking about them often. That the thoughts about you happen often. They also think that you think that they're jealous over you. And they're a little bit worried that they're giving you the impression that they don't have a lot of follow through when it comes to taking action towards you in some way. It's like both of you are kind of watching the other and seeing when the other person is going to act. And this person is fearing that they're giving you the impression that they don't have a lot of follow through, but there's also fear on their end, on the end of the divine masculine as well. We have the Hermit. But they do believe that you are hiding the truth of how you feel, that you're almost like this mystery, like a Pandora's box. And there's something about the safety net that you maintain by maintaining this mystery over yourself. So it's like you're afraid to really be vulnerable and say, this is how I feel. It's like you want them to be the one who's vulnerable. But they are on the exact same page as you when it comes to how they feel and about how insecure they are. So they may not have a lot of follow through because of that fear. And there's this message about getting to know each other or gathering information right now. And even it's like you're a tough nut to crack. This person thinks you're a tough nut to crack because even as they're gathering information, you don't let a lot out or you don't give a lot away. And I feel like she's just giving me these Marilyn Monroe vibes. There's something about your eyes and how you use them to communicate with this person sometimes. But that's also this, they think that this is like a way to keep people at bay, to keep people at an arm's length emotionally. But some of even some of these thoughts or feelings about how they perceive your feelings towards them are coming from a place of insecurity within this person. But they think that you're very attracted to them and that you want some more. That you want something more out of this connection. There is this feeling about a lot of options and fantasies that are wrapped up in how you feel about them and how you're not saying it right now. You haven't completely given them the full spectrum right now, but that you will sometimes imagine what life would be like in the future. We have the Page of Swords and the Five of Swords, and we have the Five of Swords, sort of a theme here for you, Pile 1, because both of you are conflicted on this in the exact same way. Both of you are trying to maintain this safety zone. Both of you are trying to stay guarded to see what the other one will do next. And that's where they are with you, and I feel like that's where you are with them. It's waiting to see what the other person is going to do next. They know that you are attracted to them, or in the very least, they really hope that you are. But they can sense it, that there's something that triggers you or that is triggering in this connection. They know that you are attracted to them, but they also feel like you are keeping yourself safe, and they are definitely keeping themselves safe. And so it's like two people that really want to delve into this connection. We have the Judgment again on the back of the deck and the Hierophant. Look at both of these people at this crossroads together, perfectly matched. So the way that you feel about this person and the way that they feel about you could be very, very similar, Pile 1. How do they think you feel? There's also this message about the Divine Feminine having a lot of options. So that could be from your perspective towards them, where it's like you're just one of their options, but they think that you consider them one of many, perhaps one of many options. Pin, a new job or career that you want to keep safe. There's this message about, because they don't completely see how insecure you are and how mirrored your insecurity is to themselves, they do see themselves as a possibility in your gaze towards new relationships. But they also feel sometimes like you're kind of putting them up on a shelf and waiting for the perfect timing or waiting for all the other options to dissipate a little bit. They want to keep this as a safe option, or they feel like a safe option for you, but they don't feel like you're taking the option right now. And again, they don't have the full gaze of the internal conflict that you're experiencing when it comes to change. We have temporary situation. And that you feel that something is missing in your life, perhaps love, money, or goals. And there is a message, and it comes from a very self-deprecating place from this person's perspective, because I don't feel like it's the truth of the situation, but they worry that you're going to lose interest quickly, that they won't have enough, they don't have enough charisma, they don't have enough to keep your focus. and that you are going to lose interest very quickly here. And again, that's coming from, whether that's true or not, that's coming from their internalized thoughts and their fears and their worries. We have here peace and harmony. And yet the wind chimes remind me of the Six of Swords and leaves of change, and how there's a beautiful collaboration here that's going on that can help both of you gain mastery over this conflict of internal fears and worries and insecurities. We have reconciliation and pineapple. I do think about swinging energy, and I think about like multiple people. So you may not be in a solidified relationship with this person at this time, or it's not a commitment or in a commitment cycle yet. How do they think you feel about them? And you can see the King of Swords here patiently waiting, or maybe impatiently waiting, depending on how you look at it, with his hand on his hip. So it's like they're waiting to see what your next move is, and you're perhaps waiting to see what their next move is going to be. But how do they think that pile 1 feels about them at this moment, please? We have you deserve love. You're lovable, but you're holding back. And they don't realize perhaps how hard it is for you to hold back, because she's trying to hold back that bow, but that's a lot of pressure to hold back. And there's kind of a sadness about how both of you gaze things, because both of you are coming from such an insecure place, and that's why you're both holding back. Because in some respects, maybe you or they have gone through these cycles where they question how lovable they are. They question their worth, especially related to connections with others in romantic situations. Your love life is being affected by children. There could be youth associated here. There could be children involved, or there could be a history between the two of you from when you were coming of age. And we have soulmate. Yes, this is your soulmate. And playfulness to recapture romance. Allow your youthful spirit of fun to shine. And there's a lot of flirtation energy that I'm feeling, a lot of gathering information. And so if you're in that state with this person right now, where you're both a little bit guarded, both afraid to take that next step, or both afraid to be really vulnerable, this person that you're speaking to or involved in right now is on the exact same page as you. Let's get a couple of message cards to see what they think your feelings are, what they think your thoughts are towards them at this time. What do they think that pile 1's thoughts and feelings are towards them at this time, please? That you're putting yourself first and it's only hurting you more. That you are prioritizing yourself, and that's not a bad thing, but they fear that you're doing it in an aspect to keep yourself safe, and that you're kind of clinging on to your independence. It's like you don't want to maybe move into a solidified relationship at this moment. It says, but you don't want to be with anyone else deep down. And that's an interesting couple of cards to come out. That you don't actually want to be with anyone else, but you're putting yourself first. It's like you're not ready for a relationship. You're not ready for a commitment cycle. You want commitment, but not this at this moment, not yet. It says, I'm a better person because of you. You've really changed me. So in relation to this person's perception about you, there's this feeling about the influence that they actually have over you, and how I feel like the two of you are very well matched when it comes to your intellect, when it comes to conversation, and they hope that they have that really positive impact upon you. That through this opportunity, we'll be able to take baby steps towards growth over top and sort of survive or overcome the hurdles of that Hierophant, the hurdles of these 5s. So there's this feeling, this impression that they have that you're not all in yet, but that once you let your guard down, you're going to realize that there's something really powerful here between the two of you. Been sending messages in the 5D, and I've looked into tarot readings is on the back of that deck. So maybe a very similar sort of belief systems surrounding religious beliefs or spiritual beliefs as well. How do they think you feel about them at this moment, please? I gave you the impression that I did not care, and that was a lie. So if you've acted sort of, not even cold, I don't want to say cold, but maybe just careful and cautious, that's a lie, that you're wearing a mask around them, but that you're actually dreaming of them. Allowing yourself to make sort of fantasies about the future. Trying to make sense of it all. Just give me some time. They do think that you want to take things slowly here. They think that you want to cautiously proceed. And they also fear that you have this belief that this is ultimately going to end, or that you don't want to put all of your eggs in this basket in case it does. We may have talked about the ways in which you've been hurt before. Reach out to me, please. And that even if there is a lag in the communication, that you're perhaps stubborn when it comes to reaching out first, and that you expect them to reach out to you first. My life is in chaos right now, and I wish we could turn back time. Back of the deck says, thinking about the day that we met. And there is something about these pages, you know, the Fool. There's something about fresh opportunity, fresh perspective, and wanting to keep it safe in that realm for a really long time. Let's get a charm bowl, please, for pile number 1. What was the last thought that this person had about you, pile 1, in the bowl? We've seen what their perspective is of what they think you feel. And oftentimes that can be projections, but this is what they think that you feel. But in the bowl, we're looking at their last thought of you. There is this aspect of watching each other. So watching each other online or looking for each other online. We have the Four of Cups. And sort of perhaps feeling a little bit overlooked or a little bit ignored. So they may feel like they're giving you the impression that they're ignoring you, or they could feel a little bit ignored by you at this time because they're not feeling very secure in their position with you right now. They don't feel like they have a solidified place in your life yet. And I feel like this was prompted by them seeing you online or searching you out, perhaps. We have the Devil Chain, Capricorn. Four of Wands, so twin flame prompts. This is like two people who are very much working or operating on a parallel when it comes to their spiritual development and the themes that they're still struggling with. Crystal clear intentions with the marble. Leo energy. We do have the key with the Mickey Mouse ear, so I think of children. We had that Six of Cups. We have I and L and Cupid's arrow. And we also have a bicycle, and I think about decisions we make because of children or decisions we make in childhood. So again, this could be a past connection. We also have the Empress with the Pearl of Wisdom, and we had the Empress as your first card. All right, pile number 1, that's what I have for you today. I hope it resonates. If it does, drop your comment below for a chance to win a free reading with me. You can also check out my link for Etsy for a personal reading as well. But I hope that you come back here and visit me at the Tarot Cottage, and I hope you have a great day. Hello, pile number 1. You were drawn to the pink, pile number 2. You were drawn to the pink flower and the King of Wands, and this is your reading. What does the person on your mind think that you feel about them? Now, the King of Wands here is filled with intention, filled with focus. This could be their hopes and feelings that you are really kind of behind the attraction that they have towards you. Perhaps they feel like you are this King of Wands energy where you really want to make plans towards more. It's like you have these plans, and you can even see in this card, like there's buildings burning behind. It's like maybe they're speaking about having to burn down institutions, having to burn bridges in order to achieve more here. So let's take a look at your tarot. How do they think that you feel about them? Pile number 2. We have the Seven of Wands. Two of Wands. I almost got this message about cultural differences between the two of you. And so please take that as it resonates to your situation. And that would be a significant thing if that's true for you. It might affect the ability for the connection to proceed in some way. We have the Two of Pentacles. Eight of Pentacles. And the Magician. I am getting the impression that this could be a flirtation that has started in the work realm or perhaps a school realm, but I'm getting really strong work realm connection here. We have the Seven of Swords and the Nine of Pentacles. This person, pile 2, thinks that you have secret feelings for them. In the position that you hold in their life, you could even be a boss for them, or they could be your boss. But there's this feeling about, because of our environments, I can't say how I truly feel, and they think that you can't say how you feel, but that the attraction that you have towards them throws them off, or throws you off rather. That you like to fantasize about, making plans towards them, but that it might be difficult for you to execute, and that you're sort of defensive because of what you have to lose. That you're afraid to take your mask off, you're afraid to reveal how you truly feel in this situation because you don't want to get caught for those feelings, or you'll have to make amends, or you'll have to deal with the ramifications in some way. And you can even see with the Nine of Pentacles, the bird is hooded. It can't take flight when it has a hood on. And so there's something about this message about wearing masks and how they can't take flight, or you can't take flight with how you feel, that you can't speak it. Even her collar's all the way up to her chin. This is like under the guise of like a friendship, but it's not truly a friendship. So this could be like a person that you work with that you're rather friendly with, a good acquaintance that you have here. There is something very different about the two of you. And I feel like the cultural aspect would bring about certain expectations that would be difficult for you to step away from, because it feels like we've been indoctrinated into certain ideals at a very young age. And this affects how we feel like we are allowed to operate in our own lives. I feel like if some of those obstacles didn't exist, it wouldn't be so difficult to plow through the obstacles. This person on your mind also feels like you've had these feelings for at least a couple of years. So you may have known them for at least a couple of years. And that you would fantasize about them quite heavily. They don't think that you're very satisfied in the life that you've chosen, and that you would fantasize about them. But that it's something that you feel like it's a lot easier to fantasize than it is to actually make it real. They also wonder if you don't have plans to reveal this in some way eventually, but that you don't know how to make that happen right now. Yeah, Two of Swords and the Three of Swords. They don't think that you have the ability to commit. So you could be in a relationship, or they assume that you are in some way, or that your position in their life, like a workplace position, does not allow that sort of connection to happen. They do also wonder if you hold back because they haven't clarified their feelings for you at this time. But they are talking about a third party, and that doesn't have to be, you know, they're talking about third party, so that doesn't have to resonate with you. Please take these messages as they resonate and leave behind those that do not. But for someone watching, I feel like there could be other people involved here. And that's why so many masks are worn, or they feel like you have to wear the masks that you wear. But I feel like, again, you work closely together, because there's this feeling about the two of you working closely together. It's like you have to see this person a lot, and they have to see you a lot. So that desire, that want, they feel like it's always with you, that you always really want to bring forward your feelings, or there's a tension between the two of you that they can feel, that you can feel, and that has not gone on unnoticed. And we have the Sun. We also have the Ace of Cups and the Eight of Wands. And not only do they think that you want them in an emotional sense, they think that you want them in a physical sense too, that the pressure is building between the two of you to express yourselves in some way. Even if it's just for the sake of like getting it off of your chest, like you have something you want to get off of your chest and you feel like you have to get it off your chest right now. But that you don't feel like you can, because you're using again, there's environments, there's culture issues, there's problems with career, with home, that perhaps get in the way, that we're using as a little bit of a crutch right now, that you feel like would anchor you. You have here, calling in your soulmate. Your prayers, affirmations, and visualizations help you to bring you closer together. So they do think that you feel that there's some sort of spiritual connection here. And I also get the sense that you could be religious or be spiritual in some way, and they would be privy to that. Maybe you've had discussions about that. That there's something about your religious calling or your religion in some way that has an effect on you. New love, a new person has stirred your romantic feelings. And that you didn't expect that attraction to pop up where it did. Unrequited, there's not enough attraction or chemistry to keep this relationship going. I've never liked the bottom portion of that card. I don't think it's unrequited. They think that you have very strong feelings towards them. Very strong feelings towards them. And there's something though about having to burn everything down to start fresh in order to clear cut, because they're showing me burning grass. And sometimes they burn grass in order to stimulate the growth. Separation, time apart from your partner is on the horizon. We have here a distant friend is thinking about you, and there is an emphasis on friendship. And, you know, I'm not getting a sense of a complete separation here for the majority of the collective, though. So that might resonate with you, that you are in separation at this time, or there is one on the horizon. We have hidden secrets that could harm you, and being careful. Do not back down from opposition. Show strength and fortitude. But we have too much concern for sexual matters. And you started with the Seven of Swords as your back of deck. So there are hidden secrets about how you feel for them that they feel like could harm you or could harm your position or maybe even harm them as well. And that you're stubbornly kind of holding on to the environment that impedes all of the growth here. But that this pressure is building and that you're very curious about where this connection could lead the both of you. How do they think the pile number 2 feels about them at this time, please? That you make, that you want them to do naughty things with you. That they make you want to do naughty things. I just heard attachment. You hurt me, but that's okay, I guess. And that you hold back. There's also this feeling about, you know, the flirtation phase between the two of you. And maybe they didn't give in to the flirtation, or they haven't really, there are times when they haven't really included themselves and they feel like they hurt your feelings. They feel like they hurt your feelings somehow in the past. My life started when I met you. But that this connection, this attraction that you have towards them, they feel like it has sparked something in you to question your environment, to question what's holding you back, and that you secretly want them with the Seven of Swords. Like, just let me have you. Consequences be damned, just let me have you. Your family won't like me, and love is the answer. And these are your feelings from their perspective. These are what they think you think about. That if there's a family unit, that there's going to be issues there, that there's obstacles. But there's also this feeling about underneath it all, it's not just about lust, it's about emotional new investments. It's about new emotional starts. And that you dream about them a lot, probably more than you should. How do they think pile number 2 feels and thinks, please? That you want them so badly, that you want to see them so badly. That you think about that last day a lot. And I just heard that country music line that says, you are always on my mind. Just, you are always on, that they feel that they are always on your mind. And that you are in love with them. And that you will have these feelings for a very long time. That you're so frustrated with the situation, that you're frustrated with yourself. Maybe a little bit frustrated with them. That you think that the two of you are a very attractive couple, and that you are their happy place, or that they are your happy place, that you would use thoughts of them to escape some of your reality. Back of the deck says, we were just kids when this began. Let's get a charm bowl, please, for pile number 3. So we've seen what sort of thoughts they have regarding how they assume or they think that you feel these things. They think that you feel this way. But what are they thinking? What was the last thought they had about you in the bowl? Ace of Cups, 3 of Swords reversed, and we have the Page of Cups. The last thought they had about you was like almost like this recovery after loss. It's like there's a feeling about frustration or about disappointment that they can't have new emotional starts right now. They perhaps wanted to reach out to you very suddenly or out of the blue, but I feel like there's something involved here, or there's something that gets in the way. It could be people that get in the way. And there's this feeling about not wanting to cause pain and being stressed out to think about that prospect. We have here the Queen of Swords, or I'm sorry, the King of Swords, Aquarius, Libra, Gemini. We have 2 starfish in the bowl, Aquarius, I do think about losing a limb and regrowing a limb over time. So a journey, an independent journey. We have the letter N. We do have the honeybee. I think about self-sacrifice and sweet results, and made with love. I think of children. So there can be commitment cycles with children here between the two of you, either yourself or this person. We do have a strawberry. We have music for the divine masculine. So they could have a song associated with their name in some way. We also have a forget-me-not and a key. Lots of secrets here. I think that you secretly have all of these feelings. All right, pile number 2, that's what I have for you today. I hope that it resonates with you. Drop your comment below for your chance to win a reading. You can also check out my link for Etsy for a personal reading, and that link is below as well. But I hope that you come back and visit me at the Tarot Cottage, and I hope that you have a beautiful day. Hello, pile number 3. You are drawn to the red rose or to the 3 of Cups, and this is your reading. How does the person on your mind think that you feel about them? So the 3 of Cups gives me a lot of friendship energies, and there's a lot of attraction. These are very beautiful, attractive ladies here in this cup. So this could be a friend group or a person that you would consider a friend, and they would consider you a friend, but they think that there's more flirtation here than meets the eye, and it's kind of really revealing. So there could be a lot of flirtation that they feel coming from you. There's also this message about the way that you dress when you're hanging out with them or when you're talking to them, the way that you carry yourself. It's very flirtatious. It's very revealing in some way. And there's something about the joy of that. It's like you feeling joyful in the moment or bringing them joy because you're looking really amazing and you're flirting with them, even though it's just a friendship. So this could be sort of a friends with benefit situation, or they think that you want it to be a friendship, friends with benefit situation, or perhaps that you want more from this connection overall than just being friends. So let's ask Spirit about that. How do they think you feel about them? If you are friends, they definitely think that you want more than just friendship. We have the Knight of Swords. The 3 of Wands. And this is fast moving energy. Like this person on your mind thinks that you want more out of this connection right now. But that maybe you're not really thinking about the consequences of what happens. Like if we move out of the friend zone, what happens if we do that? Taking that leap of faith. And there's this message too about like trying it before. So I don't know if that's a message about you trying this behavior with other friends in a group. But you can see that there's all of these little, on this cliff side, there's like all of these little tombs. It's like they've tried at this point. They tried to take a leap and they couldn't do it. They tried there too. They tried there too. And that maybe you've held back, that there have been multiple times where you were just about to say something and they felt that momentum and then you held back, or something almost happened, you almost crossed the line together and then you held back a little bit, but that you don't want to hold back, that ultimately you're just afraid, that you have a lot that you haven't expressed to them as well. They feel like you're holding back a lot. In the Knight of Cups. Because they've noticed that you are always really trying to be really flirtatious or look really good. Like they've noticed the effort that you're putting in. And they think that you think that there's something special between the two of you as well. I just got this message about wanting to be romantic with them. So they do think that you want romance out of this connection, out of this friendship. And that you wear a really heavy mask when you're around them. I'm hearing that song, that old song by Britney Spears, Lucky. It's like, isn't she lovely, that Hollywood girl? She's so lucky she's a star, but she cries at night. And that's what I feel like. There's this feeling about they can see through you. So even when you are acting really jovial and acting really flirtatious, they feel like it's coming from a place of insecurity. And a little bit of loneliness too. Because I'm just noticing the chameleon. There's a fly there. But I'm just noticing and I just heard depression. So there's this chameleon, and it's like you wear the colors of your surroundings. But when you're alone, you get to show your true colors, and there's depression or sadness there. And this is coming from their perspective. So they've picked up on this about you. We have the 4 of Wands, and we have the 8 of Cups. And with this 8 of Cups, you can see that it's this mermaid that can lure us you know, the mermaid would lure these sailors to their depth with their voice. And so there's something perhaps about your voice, about your, even somebody who can sing or something. I'm getting this message about somebody who can sing really well. But there's something about dissatisfaction with how things are right now. You're not happy with how things are in your connection. You want more out of this friendship. And you think that this person, or this person thinks that you want that more with them in this moment. And that they are like a path to happiness or something for you. Here's the Nine of Swords and here's the Page of Pentacles. But they also think that you're kind of too worried or too nervous to say something. It's like maybe they are waiting on the edge of their seat to see if you're going to actually take that chance, because they feel like you've stopped yourself multiple times from actually telling them how you feel. And they feel like you're really a nervous creature who's afraid to really say something. It's like you're trying to tell them through your body language, through your flirtation, without actually having to come out and say the words, because they feel like you're afraid to truly say the words. But I do get a sense of like overthinking, worry, anxiety, perhaps some depression that they're acknowledging about you. With the Five of Cups. And you chose the Three of Cups, and here's the Three of Cups that have fallen over. And that they also think that you don't say what you really feel because of the fear of knocking those cups over and not being able to go back to just being friends. It's like instead of looking for solutions, you're focusing on the ways that things could go wrong, and that's where all the overthinking is coming in, and that's why they feel like you're holding back your truth because of vulnerability. Three of Swords. I also feel like there's been like a lot of bad timing between the two of you as well, because they're acknowledging that, and how some of these attempts where there should have been leaps of faith, they couldn't be attempted because of other people. It's just like all of these bad timings. And that you're afraid to get hurt if you take that leap of faith. And it's like being afraid to have the rug pulled out from underneath you. And that in their opinion is why you don't say something, or you just maintain the flirtation. You never kind of take the leap. You just are perpetually in a flirtation phase. I also feel like you guys are online together quite a bit, so back and forth online, and you could be separated right now. Like there could be a distance between you. This could be a long distance friendship, perhaps even an online long distance friendship that has been going on for quite some time. And it just, again, it feels like bad timing throughout the years of knowing this person, of when we should take that leap of faith. Because it feels like we are separated. And they think that you feel like you're alone in it. Like they aren't as affected by the separation as you would feel like you're affected. Because there's this feeling about travel being involved. And here's the Four of Pentacles. Here is the Tower and the Page of Pentacles. And, you know, with the Friendship card, with the Three of Cups, there's something really wonderful about being within the Three of Cups, because it can stay loosey-goosey, but as soon as we kind of move into a relationship, that feels like a permanent change and we can't go back. And so they think that you're afraid to just take that leap of faith, because once you do, you can't go back to the friend zone. Things will always change permanently. We can't, and perhaps they really feel like you rely on that friendship at this moment because of overthinking, because of fear and insecurity. Like you really rely on the friendship, so you're afraid to take that leap of faith because you're afraid of permanent changes coming in. But the Tower also talks about success with effort and building with care, and how we can build together to create a big life together. But that is an opportunity, or that is an outcome that is possible, but that you're afraid of the vulnerability. It's almost like they have this acknowledgement, even from their higher self perspective, that you're afraid of the success of this relationship actually working out. You're afraid of the success. How do they think you feel about them, please? We have Ram, a stubborn person, and increase your efforts if you want to achieve your goal. So they think that you recognize that you're going to have to take action if there's going to be any change in the future of the situation. We have news on the way. And they also expect this communication cycle to continue between the two of you. It's like they don't expect you to let go of this because they feel like you're kind of possessive over them a little bit. We have doing something risky and taking a chance from the divine feminine's perspective. And they think that these are their thoughts about what you're thinking. These are what they're presuming you are feeling, or maybe even hoping that you're feeling towards them, but that you feel like it's a big risk to take that leap of faith here. Discord among friends or family. And horse the short journey, having freedom of choice, feeling pulled in different directions at this time. How do they think you feel about them at this time, please? We have here passion, wanting to allow your heart and soul to sing with joy in their direction. And that you want to give their relationship a chance and work on the partnership. But that you're afraid perhaps that they're going to turn away from you if you do take that leap of faith. And that you're wearing a mask. That someone is wearing a false mask in this relationship. And that it's not, if it is in a friend zone in this moment, they think that you don't want it to be in a friend zone. And that you want, ultimately you want permanent change, but you're almost afraid of that permanent change at the same time. What do they think that pile number 3 is thinking and feeling towards them? What do they think that pile 3 is thinking about them at this time, please? That you thought you had more time, that you've run out of time, or that the opportunity is waning for you to act. Woo. That you are tired of holding back, but that you're very insecure and that you think that they deserve someone better. But the truth is that you don't recognize how unique you are and what impression that you leave on people. We have here, if I called, would you answer? So there's uncertainty. It's like you're afraid to make an error in judgment because you're afraid to get the cold shoulder. You're afraid to lose them, and that's why you don't act. But that you think about it, that you think about taking action, you think about laying it all on the line. And do you even want me back, or do you even want me? And that's really relating to the insecurity that they can feel from you. There's also an emphasis on reunions here. So if this is not a friendship that's is currently in connection, there could be an emphasis on wanting reunions here as well. But this is all I have to give, the curiosity, that you're curious, but you're afraid to take the mask off because you're afraid to have them realize how you feel, even though they already seem to have an impression about how you're feeling at this moment. How do they think you feel and think about them at this moment, please? That you love them unconditionally, but that you're worried that you're just a distraction from their pain, and that you don't have, they think that you're worried that you haven't made a big impression, and that they look at you as just a distraction. But a lot of these feelings that they think that you're inhabiting right now, even if they are touching on some of the truth, even if there is a lot of insecurity in you, it's like this person can see through it for a reason. It's time for me to heal now. Because they feel like a lot of these fears that are holding perhaps you back from taking action in this connection could be because of past pain and being hurt by love before. That you're starting to understand the connection because you spend so much time reflecting upon it. And that you're going to wait for a sign from them, that you're too afraid to take that leap of faith even though you consider it, and that you're sort of hoping that they will come in with some flirtation of their own. The back of the deck is that you want to be more than friends, that friendship is not the end-all be-all for you in this connection. Let's get a charm bowl, please, for pile number 3. What was the last thought that they had about pile number 3? We've heard about what they think you feel for them, or maybe even their hopes about what you feel for them. But what is the last thought that they had about pile number 3, please? We have here the 5 of Wands, 5 of Swords, and the Temperance reverse. They're getting sort of tired of waiting. There's this frustration in the competition of sort of being on edge and wanting to fight for something more, but then being conflicted because they're afraid to be the person to step forward and say, this is how I feel, because what if they get hurt or they get rejected? So there could be a lot of mirrors between the two of you and how you're actually feeling about each other. They are also feeling kind of stuck in a rut here, stuck in this friend zone at this moment. and they get a little bit jealous in relation to you. We have Y and Q. Just heard Y chromosome. We have the double-edged razor and love on a foundation. It's like we have to face the firing squad. It's like nothing changes if nothing changes. Unless we take the opportunity, we can never have the permanent change that can come about with this Three of Cups, which is, yes, epiphanies that bring in new information, but also a new solid foundation on which we can launch ourselves from in a new relationship, perhaps. We do have the cactus for the divine feminine, so I think of thirst, so the divine feminine being very thirsty. But we have Virgo energy, so taking baby steps towards revelations, because we're in this aspect of protection. I get Sagittarius vibes coming through as well. We're trying to protect something. We also have the divine feminine in a state of healing, so that could be where all of these fears and worries come from, is because you're in a state of healing because of past heartbreak. And we have Pisces energy as well. That is what I have for you today, pile number 3. If it resonates with you, drop your comment below for a chance to win a free reading with me. You can also check out my link for Etsy for a personal reading. And I hope that you come back here and visit me at the Tarot Cottage, and I hope you have a great day.